Right now, rain is still coming down across central Florida, and more storms are on the way. I'm going to detail them for you straight ahead.
A man visiting Central Florida from overseas trades in his vacation for the inside of a jail cell. What he's accused of doing in front of a group of teenage girls.
Plus, a bear spotted cruising around a Central Florida neighborhood. Why at least one neighbor who found the bear in their backyard wasn't surprised to see it.
Local, live, late-breaking. WESH 2 News on CW18 starts now.
A much-needed sight across Central Florida today. Rain, rain, and more rain.
Let's take a look at our radar right now. You can see that rain slowly moving out of our area, but do not expect it to be gone for long.
First Warning Chief Meteorologist Tony Manalfi is joining us now. Tony, we are in for one wet week.
Yeah, you know, it started today. We're going to get rounds of showers and thunderstorms, and at times, some of these storms could be a bit on the strong side by the time we get to Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'll break that down for you here in a second. I want to take you back outside right now, show you what it looks like in the downtown I-4 corridor right there. Folks, it is wet, it is damp, it is humid, and it is not a pretty night to be out and about. You can see the moisture here coming in off of the Gulf of Mexico. Multiple rounds of rain this evening. This is all good. There's no lightning strikes, by the way, out there tonight, but you can see the 408, the beach line, the 428, all getting wet up and down I-95, very wet at this hour. There's Palm Coast down towards Daytona Beach, New Smyrna Beach, again getting in on some of the rain. Does get a little bit heavier here as we go from Port St. John, just south of the Wedgefield area, and then over towards the Four Corners, over towards Claremont. You can see there's downtown Orlando, Winter Park, some nice, steady, moderate rains here. This extends off towards Windermere, Dr. Phillips, Ocoee, and it's building up towards the southeast side there of Apopka. Look at Wedgefield, back towards Avalon Park. Big wedge of moderate rain about ready to move into you, and over towards Satellite Beach and Cocoa Beach, more rain filtering on in. Look at these rainfall totals today. Canaveral Acres, over 5 inches of rain. Cocoa, over 4 inches of rain. Sharps, over 3 inches of rain. Merritt Island, over 2 inches of rain. We'll get a breather later on tonight. We'll re-rack it. The sun will come out, and here we go again. More late-day showers and storms. I'll break these down for you county by county and hour by hour, all straight ahead.
WESH 2 was there as the Florida Forest Service station in Orlando lowered fire danger levels today.
We got a little rain last week, which helped a little, but not a lot. So we're going down to the moderate stage today.
Forest officials say there's more moisture in the dirt and more humidity in the air, and that is welcome news in Central Florida as dry conditions have fueled dozens of recent fires in recent weeks. Osceola County is lifting its burn ban thanks to all of the recent rain. The ban was in place for nearly a month. Still, anyone who plans to light an open fire must take the proper precautions. The county fire chief says instead of burning yard debris, place it out front for yard waste pickup.
Though the storms have moved out, they are still having an impact on flights at Orlando International Airport. As you take a look at the big board right now, 44 flights remain delayed. Good news is no cancellations this evening. 82 flights are still running on time. And with more storms expected throughout this week, make sure to check your flight status before you head to the airport. And remember, our First Warning weather team is working around the clock to keep you up to date on any changes to our forecast. For latest details, download the WESH 2 app and turn on alerts for any breaking updates.
A man is facing charges after deputies say he exposed himself to a group of teenage girls in a hot tub at a Kissimmee resort. WESH 2's Liv Johnson is joining us live from that resort tonight. And Liv, the victims are in town for the cheerleading worlds competition?
Yes, they traveled all the way from France for this competition. I spoke with a woman who says she saw this man get arrested while everyone else was just trying to enjoy a day at the pool. Fruth was arrested on 6 counts of exposure of sexual organs. Live in Kissimmee, I'm Liv Johnson, WESH 2 News.
New at 10, Orange County deputies are searching for answers after 2 men were shot just blocks away from each other. Deputies say they responded to a call around 4 this afternoon on Declaration Drive where they found the first man shot. Moments later, they found another man shot on Weingard Road. Both were taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. Investigators have not released any information about a possible suspect.
We continue to follow a developing story out of Flagler County tonight where deputies have been searching for a woman reported missing. This afternoon, dive crews pulled a gray Toyota Camry from a pond on Palm Harbor Parkway right near Chris Lane. They also found the body of a woman inside the car. Deputies have not yet confirmed if it is 49-year-old Erica Bergeron, but it is the same car that she was last seen driving on Thursday.
It wasn't until Sunday the son was supposed to meet with her that he goes to the residence to look for her and doesn't see her. That's when they tried to start contacting her, and when they couldn't, that's when they reported her missing.
Bergeron was last seen on surveillance video outside Palm Coast Lanes bowling on Old Kings Parkway early Thursday morning.
A strange scene in an Orlando neighborhood today as wildlife officials try and catch a bear that was up a tree. It hung out in that tree in College Park for hours.
And tonight, there is still a bear up in a tree in the neighborhood. WESH 2's Haley Crumbleholm is joining us live. And Haley, you spoke with the homeowner who found it in their yard.
Yep, they actually say it was their dogs that first spotted it in their backyard, and the bear appears to have been on the move just a few hours after we spoke to that homeowner over on Yale. We had people here on Amherst call us and say they had a bear in their backyard. Now, Florida Fish and Wildlife did tell us earlier today that their bear management staff were monitoring this situation. They said seeing a bear in a neighborhood isn't necessarily a reason to panic, and they said a few things you can do. One thing, obviously, trash day. You got to bring your trash out, but they said if you can secure food like your garbage, bird seed, any pet food, that can help ensure that bears aren't going to stick around in your area. Live in College Park, Haley Crumbleholm, WESH 2 News.
New at 10, the mother of a 3-year-old boy who drowned in an Ormond Beach retention pond is in the Volusia County Jail tonight. 22-year-old Myra Santiago is charged with aggravated manslaughter of a child and neglect of a child. Police say someone found the boy's body in the pond at the San Marco Apartments off Williamson Boulevard Sunday afternoon. According to the arrest report, Santiago said she left the child with a neighbor, but the neighbor denied that. She is being held without bond. Tonight, the company responsible for sending an early morning emergency alert to millions of sleeping Floridians Thursday is apologizing. Everbridge
CEO David Wagner says in part, our job is to give you and all of Florida's emergency departments peace of mind so you can sleep through the night knowing you will not be awoken and alerted if there is a hurricane or an imminent life-threatening event. The last thing we want to do is wake you when you should be asleep. But that is exactly what happened when an alert was inadvertently sent out at 4:45 last Thursday morning. Wagner says human error caused the alert to go out to millions of cell phones instead of on TV. He adds the company violated several routine precautionary steps. The Florida Division of Emergency Management ended its contract with Everbridge just hours after the incident.
I think everyone across the state of Florida is glad that that contract ended.
Yeah, that was unpleasant to say the least. Morning. Still ahead on WESH 2 News at 10, 2 planes catch fire in separate incidents.
There's a lot of hand holding, a lot of people closing their eyes and trying to text their loved ones.
The common problem that could be to blame and why it may only get worse.
But first, a Central Florida man dies while on vacation in Jamaica.
He wanted to jump in the waterfall, and that was the last time I saw him, yeah.
And while that was the last time she saw him, how his wife is keeping him close to her heart forever.
You're watching Central Florida's CW18. Want to become BFFs with your neighbor?
That's a great idea.
Show them how much you care.
You are my BFF.
You have no idea how long I've waited to hear those words.
The Neighborhood, weeknights at 6 on CW18.
Happening now, Orange and Seminole County deputies are working to find a carjacking suspect. This happened in Wekiva Springs in the area of Riverbend Boulevard and Sweetwater Boulevard. They haven't said who exactly they're looking for, but we'll let you know when they find him.
After he died while visiting water.
WESH 2's Marley Martinez spoke with Damian Benjamin's widow about how he wanted to make a name for himself as a tattoo artist in Kissimmee.
In a statement, Carnival Cruise said Carnival's care team is supporting the family of a guest who died ashore while Carnival Sunrise was in Ocho Rios, Jamaica on Wednesday. Our thoughts are with the guest family at this time.
Looking ahead, the 40th annual Law Enforcement Torch Run is happening in Claremont tomorrow in support of Special Olympics Florida. Registration opens at 9:15 a.m. It is one of the final legs of the run leading up to the Special Olympics Games in Orlando.
We are still seeing a lot of showers across Central Florida. It is starting to tail off from the downpours we saw earlier.
You know, and we don't have any lighting tonight, so that's some good news. But the roads are pretty slick no matter where you're going tonight, so be careful there. Let me take you back outside. We'll break all of this down for each and every one of you. Downtown O-Town right now, you can see the wet roads and what's going on out there. You can see the satellite and radar composite tonight indicating all the moisture, the deeper stuff now moving off towards the eastern side of the peninsula. Nice little shield of rain over Orange County, extending back towards central and northern Brevard County, eastern Volusia County, up towards Palm Coast, some lighter rain showers, and this has kind of been moving up gradually to the northeast at about 5 to 10 miles an hour, and it's adding up over towards Altamont Springs, over towards Ocoee, 429, Montverde, Windermere, getting in on some of that rain. We go towards East Orlando, Azalea Park, back towards Legacy Middle School, UCF, Bitlow, Wedgefield, over towards Christmas, so getting in on some rain there. Then extend farther to the east of Port St. John and Titusville, still coming down there. More heavy rain from Satellite Beach just to the south there of Cocoa Beach at this hour. Rainfall, more totals, Altamont Springs, 3.95 inches of rain. Wekiva Springs, 1.79. Longwood 1.77, and Avalon Park coming in with 1.63 inches of rain. We do have a launch here Wednesday night, so we'll continue to monitor this. Right now, a 60% go. Longer range forecast looks very, very wet through the upcoming weekend. And in fact, if the European computer model is correct, we may have to put an impact icon here for Sunday. We'll keep you posted on that. Still plenty of time to watch at. Rainfall totals, though, through the weekend, very, very impressive. I'll show you them also in the next half hour.
Still ahead, big shakeups at big media organizations.
Why one person handed a pink slip says they were stunned by the decision, and why the company says he shouldn't have been so shocked. Plus, the Supreme Court will take up the question, can you sue public officials for blocking you on social media? Why it could be a while before we get that answer. Jury selection began today in New York in a copyright trial against singer-songwriter Ed Sheeran.
He is being sued over his song Thinking Out Loud. The plaintiffs claim it copies the Marvin Gaye classic Let's Get It On. The people who filed the lawsuit are the heirs of Ed Townsend, who co-wrote that song. Last year, Sheeran successfully fought a lawsuit that accused him of infringement regarding another of his hits, Shape of You. Attorney Ben Crump is representing the plaintiffs.
This is about making sure that artists' intellectual properties are respected and valued and given acknowledgement.
Sheeran's attorneys say the two songs share versions of a similar and unprotectable chord progression that was freely available to all songwriters. Sheeran is expected to testify at some point and will be in court tomorrow.
A pair of major media shakeups tonight. Fox News is cutting ties with Tucker Carlson. The unexpected announcement comes 1 week after Fox settled a blockbuster defamation lawsuit with Dominion Voting Systems. Fox agreed to pay Dominion $787 million over the network's spreading of election lies, in which Carlson played a key role. Fox thanked Carlson in a release and said his last show was Friday. It is not clear who will be taking his place. And at CNN, they have parted ways with Don Lemon. The CNN This Morning host tweeting today that management did not have the decency to tell him directly that he was fired. CNN said in a separate tweet that is inaccurate, that Lemon, quote, was offered an opportunity to meet with management, but instead released a statement on Twitter.
It's long been debated whether or not people can sue public officials who block them on social media. Today, the Supreme Court has agreed to take up that case. The court is willing to hear two separate cases. One involves members of a school board in California. The other involves the city manager in Michigan. In both cases, they question whether blocking someone on social media is considered a free speech violation. The Supreme Court will not hear the new cases until October at the earliest. It appears not everyone with a blue check mark on Twitter has to pay for it. Just days after Twitter revoked their verification symbol for users not subscribed to Twitter Blue, several high-profile celebrities and organizations say that their check marks returned even though they are not paying subscribers. Lord of the Rings actor Elijah Wood publicly bid farewell to his checkmark last week. Discovered yesterday it was back. The blue check mark also returned for NPR, which made headlines recently. The news organization decided to abandon Twitter after it was labeled state-affiliated media. That label has been removed, but NPR says it has no plans right now to return to Twitter. Coming up in next half hour of Western News at 10, two separate scares in the air as planes catch fire.
Why bird strikes are becoming a big problem for pilots, and what's being done by the aviation industry.
local, live, late-breaking. WESH 2 News on CW18 starts now.
Thank you for joining us for our second half hour of WESH 2 News at 10.
Let's get you caught up on tonight's stories. In Kissimmee, a man visiting from Germany is now behind bars accused of exposing himself to a group of teenage girls at a resort. Deputies say Robert Fruth began making inappropriate motions in front of a French cheerleading team while in a hot tub at the Windsor Resort. Fruth is now charged with 6 counts of exposure.
Developing in Flagler County, deputies have found a vehicle they believe could belong to a missing woman. Diving crews pulled a gray Toyota Camry from a pond on Palm Harbor Parkway near Chris Lane. The same vehicle, 49-year-old Erica Bergeron, was last seen driving on Thursday. They also found a body inside of that car. Deputies have not yet confirmed the identity of whose body was found.
A wild discovery in College Park, a bear wandering a neighborhood. So the bear was first spotted this afternoon in a tree around Yale Street and Formosa Avenue. And then a few hours later, another resident called Florida Fish and Wildlife about a bear just a few streets away on Amherst. Crews are working to safely capture the bear, but they do ask you to stay away from the area.
We need to talk about your forecast because much of Central Florida today saw some heavy downpours.
And we're going to do it all again tomorrow, so let's get over to Chief Meteorologist Tony Manalfi. Tony, will it be as severe?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be as severe, and I think we're going to have some active weather for sure, and the coverage is not going to be as widespread. Let's begin with what's going on right now. You can see we've got the rain out there, and it is continuing to lift off towards the east-northeast, up towards Palm Coast. Couple light showers there. Oak Hill, couple light showers. There's our downtown Orlando, Altamont Springs, back towards Bithlo, Titusville. The rain coming on down. So many of the roads in and around the Orange County, Seminole County, back towards northern Brevard County are wet. So take it easy if you're returning from work or you're running some errands tonight, as things will begin to wind down a little bit later on. Rainfall totals today, very impressive. And look at the overall coverage. Again, a good chunk of us today did get some rain overnight tonight. Things are going to quiet on down. It'll take about another 2 to 3 hours for the showers to come to an end, but out the door tomorrow morning for the morning commute, we're going to be in good shape. It's during the course of the afternoon now that these showers and storms will get going. A few showers popping up by noon. We get you on in the mid-afternoon. Here come the storms. I'll show you county by county and hour by hour what we're expecting, plus who can get a few of those stronger storms coming up at about 10:48.
Looking forward to it. Thank you, Tony. For the latest track on storms from our team of first warning meteorologists, download the WESH 2 News app. Turn on those alerts for breaking updates on severe weather.
Happening now, Titusville police are looking for the person who shot and killed a man overnight. This happened around 3 this morning at a home along Palmetto Street, just east of US 1. Police believe whomever did this likely knew that victim. The search continues in Central Florida for an escaped inmate from Brevard County. 20-year-old Nathan Barker was last seen Friday night at a work camp in Cocoa. He was wearing a fluorescent green work uniform and had an ankle monitor, but deputies believe he may have removed that GPS. See, Barker's criminal history includes drug charges and fleeing and eluding law enforcement. The Sheriff's Department says Barker could be heading towards Volusia County. Anyone with information is urged to call the Brevard County Sheriff's Office.
It was a deadly weekend on Central Florida roadways. There were 8 deadly crashes across 5 counties, which ended 9 lives. Included is this crash early Sunday morning on Dean Road, where it crosses over with the 408. A 23-year-old was killed when troopers say a stolen SUV slammed into him as he was trying to turn north onto Dean Road from the 408 off-ramp heading east. There were 6 teens in the SUV, which was reported stolen. They all suffered minor injuries. No charges have been filed yet. Lake County deputies arrested a 16-year-old boy for allegedly bringing a gun to school. This is the message sent to parents from the Tavares High School principal.
Today, during a search of a student who was thought to have been under the influence, a handgun was found in their possession. The gun was not loaded, but the student did have ammunition. The student had not threatened to use or shown the weapon to anyone to the best of our knowledge.
The principal adds the student will be disciplined by the district based on the Student Code of Conduct and Florida state policy.
A Marion County hospital is up and running tonight after crews put out 5 fires. Police say 32-year-old Daniel Holmes is behind the fires at the HCA Florida West Marion Hospital. They say he started fires Sunday night on the 5th floor near a coffee station and on the 1st floor near the men's and women's restrooms. That's not all. While firefighters attended to the fires indoors, they also had to focus on the property outside of the hospital.
So while this scene was unfolding, we got word of an additional fire behind a local college campus and a third fire in an enclave area, which is right outside of the city limits.
A witness who ran into Holmes in an elevator said she mentioned to him it felt warm, and he replied, quote, "It's about to get a whole lot hotter here, too." Ocala police arrested Holmes. He is facing several charges, including arson. Two separate American Airlines flights took an unexpected turn over the past few days as passengers looked out their windows and saw flames coming from the plane. As Emily Schmidt reports, no one was hurt in either incident, but as the FAA investigates, a common problem which could be to blame for one of the incidents is coming to light. New at 10, the DOJ is joining the investigation into Southwest Airlines holiday travel meltdown. The DOT says investigators working with the DOJ are looking into if Southwest's flight schedule was unrealistic. They're also looking into whether the airline provided the required timely refunds and reimbursements. Southwest has not commented on the DOJ's involvement. Looking ahead, a Florida Senate committee will discuss a bill to stop people from speeding through school zones. If passed, speed detection cameras would be installed, and drivers who are caught speeding would be fined $100. The cameras would take a picture of a license plate on any car that was going more than 10 miles over the speed limit. Signs would also be posted to let drivers know that the cameras were there.
Still ahead on WESH 2 News at 10, the new program that's helping families buy their first homes.
When I got the phone call, I was like, I jumped out of my desk. I'm like, it's like, oh my God, I have to go.
From hardship to housing, the ultimate goal of the program that provides more than just free rent for a year.
Plus, with a new law set to fast-track the building of affordable housing, the city of Orlando details the next steps in its action plan.
You ready for this? Because we're coming to the CW.
If you want to see the future, then take a look at us.
What a shot.
Watch Live Golf all season long, only on CW18. Brought to you locally in part by Lexus. Experience amazing. You're watching Central Florida's CW18.
Two Osceola County families are one step closer to buying their first homes. They've been chosen as participants of the county's Pathway to Housing program.
WESH 2's Megan Mulatto was there as they told their stories of going from hardship to housing. Orlando City Council members were briefed today on how the recently passed Live Local Act will lead to more affordable housing developments. The new law takes effect in July and will change zoning regulations. At a workshop today, the city's planning division manager represented council members with a map showing the sites of potential mixed-use development areas.
So next steps for us is to evaluate how the zoning portions of the legislature apply in a little bit more detail. We'll look at some sites that are zoned for planned development, look more deeply at the height limit requirement. We cannot send a project.
The planning division manager also acknowledged the rent control measures passed by Orange County voters last year would not be allowed under the Live Local Act.
It is a big week for SpaceX. It is set to launch its Falcon Heavy rocket on Wednesday from Kennedy Space Center. The launch window opens at 7:24 p.m. The rocket will carry a 6-ton satellite for Viasat.
Tony, if Wednesday is anything like today, which you're saying it might be, we may not get that thing off the ground.
You know, we're definitely going to have to be watching out for those afternoon lightning and thunderstorms. So a 60% go right now on that forecast. Let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers right there. You got a window, so that's at least helpful there of just over an hour. But clouds, lightning storms, electricity in the vicinity are some of the things we're going to be watching. So for now, we're going to put this at a 60% go. We'll continue to watch the model trends and hope for the best. Look at I-4. Still raining, still pretty damp out there. So do watch your travels along I-95. The Beach Line, the 429, I-4, the 429, many roads tonight have been dampened by the rain. Palm Coast, Marineland, few showers there for you, about to move offshore. Over towards Oak Hill, Titusville, Sanford, Altamont Springs, over towards Ocoee, right along the 429, Orlo Vista, Windermere, still coming down for you. East Orlando, things are just now beginning to improve, bit low. Back towards Titusville, soon to be Scottsmore, a few showers there. Heaviest rains now in and around Cocoa Beach. These are lifting up towards the north and the east. Thursday through 2 a.m. in the morning. The majority of the rain across the south and the western areas of our viewing area. Now, the Storms Prediction Center has a narrow window of opportunity down south. I'm more inclined to believe, though, if there's going to be any issues, it's going to be off towards the south and the west, and it's a very small window of 1 or 2 strong afternoon thunderstorms. Now, temps tomorrow are going to be a little bit cooler with those northeasterly winds, mid-70s north and east, low 80s, though, off towards the south and the west. Melbourne, watch out for a few early to mid-afternoon showers and storms. Then everything works off towards the west. The attractions tomorrow jumping up to about 83, 84. Watch out for those afternoon showers and storms after about 1 o'clock. Wednesday, Thursday, a few isolated storms. Moisture on the increase, though, by Friday. As the front approaches, it'll kind of slow on down. And then another front will arrive as we get you on into Sunday. This one is the one I think we're going to have to watch in the long-range forecast. But look at the rainfall. Both the models here indicating copious amounts of rain through the upcoming weekend. We certainly could use that, and that would put a dent in the drought. So for Wednesday, it is a weather impact day, but through the weekend, off and on periods of heavy downpours. We'll keep you posted.
All right, we're going to talk basketball, Tony. Not your Knicks, but the Heat. Looking to make a big comeback and beat the Bucks tonight.
Okay, and one guy, Kendra, is going to have a big night tonight?
Oh, yeah, guys. One guy will have a historic game tonight. Jimmy Buckets, Jimmy Butler in the Heat. They're heating things up against Milwaukee. We'll have those highlights. Plus, I'll introduce you to the new manager helping mold and shape baseball players for a high A affiliate level team after the break.
Real stories, remarkable people, historic events. This is Story Television, a new broadcast network now on WESH Channel 2.3. From every corner of history, innovation, and culture, every moment tells a story. Rescan your TV or antenna box now to watch Story Television on WESH Channel 2.3.
Giannis returns back in action for Game 4 of tonight's game against the Miami Heat. I'm Kendra Douglas, but Jimmy Butler and company proved tonight that that didn't matter at all. You guys, her story is so cool. She's loved baseball her entire life until her dad was like, you got to play softball. But then she found a way to get back into the sport, and now she's a manager.
Look at her, living her dream.
And
love it.
She's breaking down barriers that have always been there.
Yep.
Speaking of something crazy baseball related, Tony just told me he caught a foul ball once.
What?
Which is not a regular thing that happens.
Well, Michelle had asked, did that hurt? And,
when he caught the ball?
Yeah, the way that guy caught his, it was straight up and down. Mine was a line drive. Mine hurt.
Oh, so Tony's was way cooler. Yeah, absolutely.
But I saved my mother-in-law's head, and to this day, I'm a big fan.
There we go. Nice.
My hand still hurts, though, thinking about it. And let me take you back outside right now. I want to show you the forecast. Come daybreak tomorrow morning, we've got that wake-up weather forecast there for you. Beautiful sunrise, and then some widespread afternoon showers and storms. We'll be watching those lightning strikes throughout the afternoon. Still love the baseball, though, Stu.
Hey, that's your souvenir for life, Tony.
Very impressed by that, Tony.
We're staying top of all our big stories tonight.
Flip over to WESH 2 for local live late breaking news at 11. And don't forget, we're always online. Go to WESH.com and download the free WESH News mobile app. We're going to have the potential for more severe weather later this week, so you're going to want to have that on hand.
Being the sibling of a genius is no picnic.
Admit it, he's adopted. How can I be adopted when I have a twin sister? Think, monkey. Think.
Young Sheldon, every night at 7 on CW18.
I love everything about this.